More bad news for Labour this morning. The leader of the Unite Union, Len McCluskey, one of Jeremy Corbyn's key supporters, says he can't see Labour winning the election.
They're already under attack over their manifesto spending plans. The Tories accuse them of having a £58 billion black hole in the public finances. Shadow Business Secretary Rebecca Long-Bailey joins us now. Very good morning to you. How disheartened were you? Very good morning. How disheartened were you to hear Len McCluskey, such a big figure on the left, saying that if you lost 29 seats in the election and got 200, that would be a mark of success, basically conceding defeat?
Well, look, I understand he's being very cautious, but we're playing to win here. We've got a fantastic manifesto that's transformative. It doesn't tinker around with the edges. It aims to transform Britain and provide a hopeful agenda for the future.
It seems extraordinary, doesn't it, that after the launch of your manifesto, when I was listening to Nigel Farage on LBC last night, he was impressed by Jeremy Corbyn's enthusiasm and passion. You've got some of your opponents supporting you, and then you have such a major backer pouring ice-cold water over the whole thing.
Well, I think a lot of people are impressed with our manifesto. I think they did a poll in a few media
Len
newspapers
McCluskey doesn't seem to be. He doesn't think you're going to win.
And most people supported them. Well, as I said, understandably, he's being very cautious, but I believe that we can win. I think we do have a popular manifesto that will transform the country, from banning zero-hour contracts through to bringing utilities back into public ownership and driving energy bills down. I think there's a real agenda for hope here that people can really get behind.
OK, you've balanced all the books on this, right?
Yes, we have. We've got a fully costed manifesto.
OK. Yeah, I thought that you were going to renationalise the railways, water, the Royal Mail and energy. Yeah,
well, energy is quite complex, and I prefer the term bringing it back into public ownership. So our first priority isn't to renationalise the big six, it's to create a new energy supplier in each region that will be publicly owned and accountable. And it won't be obviously driving profits out into shareholders' hands. It will be reinvesting those in its company, and also in terms of driving bills down overall for bill payers.
But you are going to renationalise the railways, water and the Royal Mail, yeah?
Well, in terms of Royal Mail, what we've said we'll do is that we'll buy back most of the shares, we'll protect employee shares. What we've seen throughout the sale of Royal Mail is that taxpayers lost out to the tune of £1 billion due to underselling, and it hasn't increased productivity at Royal Mail. It's actually increased postage prices, and it's left many services at risk. And we see Royal Mail as a key infrastructure priority for both business and for households, and we want to make sure that that's protected.
OK, and you're going to nationalise the railways as well?
In terms of the railways, what we've said is we'll bring back the franchises as soon as they expire, and that will be done over time. Obviously, every franchise has its own time period.
OK. And water?
In terms of water, we will be creating regional energy boards to replace the current water companies that are in operation. Bills in the water sector have gone up over 40% since privatisation, and we're in a state of affairs where we've got some water companies that are actually paying out more in dividends to shareholders than they're actually making in profits, and this certainly isn't sustainable going forward.
Absolutely not. So there we have it. So you're going to renationalise, wow, the railways, water, the Royal Mail.
I prefer bring back into public ownership, Piers. That's my favourite
what I don't see anywhere in the manifesto is any costing for any of that. Any of it.
Well, in terms of the costings, the ONS and indeed the Institute for Fiscal Studies yesterday clarified this. It doesn't form part of the government's balance sheet because it's actually revenue neutral in terms of the amount that would be paid out and paid back. But you have to remember that we'll be buying profitable companies here, and it will generate a return in the long run. So there might be a slight outlay in terms of compensation.
When you say a slight, when you say a slight outlay, let's take water. All right, which apparently you dreamed up. You dreamed this up 3 weeks ago. Your secretary, shadow secretary,
3 weeks ago. It's been under consideration for some time.
Okay,
I think people in the sector have been talking about it for decades.
I see. Well, then your shadow secretary of state yesterday told for Women and Equalities, said about water to the BBC yesterday. To be quite honest, we've had 3 weeks, so this is an intent. Was she lying?
Well, we've had 3 weeks. We've had 3 weeks to get our manifesto together. That's not to say that the policies haven't been considered prior to that date.